Day to all of you Vermonters.
You always have a good history connection.
Yes. Well, you know, today was the day we did something to the British during the Revolutionary War in Bennington and Ticonderoga.
And put up a big monument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Big obelisk. Anyway, moving on. We're with Ben Davis today. We're going to be talking about Tai Chi. He's a certified Tai Chi instructor, and he's going to be starting classes here soon in Bellows Falls. But first, Marty with local events.
Local events. So at the Bellows Falls Opera House, starting on the 18th and running through the 29th, is Blue Beetle. Yet another I don't know what it's called. I don't know. Is it
I don't
Marvel
think it's Marvel.
Comics
it might
or
be
DC?
I don't know. Yes.
I don't know I don't know the difference between the two. But it is that time of the year again with classic movie Grease tonight. Grease is the word.
Grease is the word.
And last year we had a great attendance last year. It's sponsored by Edward Jones. And hopefully we'll have a good group this year.
Are people going to dress up in 50s outfits? And,
I don't know. I don't know if anyone did last year.
Bobby socks.
But at the end,
poodle skirts.
Everyone was singing, and that's the best part because you know how it closes out with "Grease is the word." Yeah. So anyway, don't want to spoil it for you, but it closes out with the song "Grease." Bandwagon series this Friday is happening at Retreat Farms. The band is sponsored by Next Stage, and the band is Armo. They're an Afrobeat band. And if you haven't been down to Retreat Farms for a concert, we went last week for food truck roundup. It's a great spot for a concert. Really? Yeah. It really is. Even if it rains, it's still a great spot because it did rain last week. So if you want tickets, it's nextstage.org, nextstagearts.org. But you don't even have to leave town to get music because on Thursday at the Bellows Falls Opera House, Cider presents the Ryan Montbleu Band. Show starts at 7 p.m. and tickets are available on the Bellows Falls Opera House website. And there's a range of prices for tickets, so they're not horribly expensive. Also happening on Thursday, you can have like your whole evening planned. You can go to the Greater Falls Connection Chamber Mixer. The actual mixer is happening at Parks Place building, but it's sponsored by Greater Falls Connections. Yes, Greater Falls Connections. It's 5:30 to 7, and you don't have to be a chamber member to go. If you're interested in what the chamber does, or just meeting other business people, or just people in town, stop by. There's usually good food. And Friday, if you don't want to go down to the Bandwagon series, you can go to Village Square Booksellers, and Joe Citro will be doing a talk about his book Lake Monsters from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So yes, it is about the monster in Lake Champlain.
Well, he's done a lot of things about ghosts and local apparitions and things like that. He's from Chester, so he's a real ultra local guy. Good
that's a free event. So there's lots of free events this week.
Great. Wow. Speaking of free events, we don't.
Bad segue.
Okay. Anyway, Ben, hi Ben. Sorry, we're a little silly today. Ben Davis. He is a Tai Chi instructor, and you're wearing this shirt, and it's from an association. What's it?
Yeah, I teach under the auspices of the Oriental Healing Arts Association, which is a nonprofit based on the New Hampshire seacoast, and we have 6 teachers offering Tai Chi classes and courses in northeastern Massachusetts, southeastern New Hampshire, and central New Hampshire. And over here, my co-teacher, Leslie Lassiter, teaches at the Westminster Institute, and I'm offering 2 classes now currently at the Walpole Town Hall. And then we're going to begin 2 new classes here at the Greater Rock Fitness Center starting in early September.
And you've been doing this quite a while, right?
I've been practicing Tai Chi for more than 25 years and teaching since 2016, so 7 years.
Wow.
So what is Tai Chi? I mean, first to kind of demystify it. I mean, I know everyone has the visual, right?
Yeah, sure. All those people in the park doing all of the Chinese arm waving. In its essence, Tai Chi is a pattern series of slow movements designed to boost your vitality and your sense of well-being by opening, clearing, and recharging your body's energy system.
Is that why the movements are slow?
The movements are slow for 2 reasons. One is that slow movements calm the mind. That's why Tai Chi is referred to as meditation in motion.
Oh,
Because when you're moving slowly, I mean, if you're moving fast and letting gravity do the work, your mind can be anywhere. But if you're moving slowly in a pattern, you're concentrating on, is my hand at the right height and the right distance from my body? And am I moving correctly? Am I shifting my weight properly between my feet? And all of that energy that's usually trapped inside your head goes out into your body and calms the mind. It's the same principle as meditation when they tell you to stare at a candle flame until your mind empties, or listen to your breath until your mind empties. And this does empty the mind, because when you're thinking about those things, you're not thinking about, rehearsing a conversation or putting lettuce on your grocery list or something else that constitutes what's called the monkey mind, with the
Squirrel brain.
Yeah. So all that ends, and at the end of a good Tai Chi session, you feel both relaxed and energized, which is the goal of meditation as well.
so it's kind of like, it's a lot about being in the moment
In the moment.
and in your body.
Well, that's the second reason for doing Tai Chi slowly, is that, we're in a situation now where we live in our heads. We're looking at screens, we're talking on the phone, we're balancing the checkbook. And the physical work we do is not a whole body experience, usually doing laundry or brushing your teeth or whatever. And so the neural pathways from the mind and the brain into the body can atrophy, which is one reason why a lot of old folks fall down. We have one instructor who tells her students, answer your phone with your feet. And by that, she's referring to an incident we heard of with one woman who was working at the kitchen sink, and the phone rang, and she turned to answer it, but her feet didn't get the message. So down she went. And so we want to rebuild the connections, the neural pathways, so your body and your mind are working as an integrated single unit. And that's particularly important for balance, because when your mind, your brain, your legs, your feet are all in instant communication with each other, if your foot lands on ice, the brain will know, oh, this is slippery, I need to alter my stance, or there's a rock under my shoe, so I need to shift more weight this way, without you thinking about it. And it all happens before you can have a chance to fall down. So we calm the mind, we reintegrate the mind and the body through these very simple movements.
Because a lot of people don't realize that you have to practice balance to have balance.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
people forget that.
Yeah.
And those connections. So would this be a good time to watch the video?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
Sometimes.
All right, good. There are several hundred forms of Tai Chi. There are 4 main schools, but all operate on the same basic principles of relaxation, by which we mean sinking, of letting go and letting tension drain out of your body and sink down through the soles of your feet into the earth. Of the principle of rooting, which is connecting solidly through the soles of your feet to the earth. Of keeping your knees relaxed rather than locking them, because the knees are not designed to bear weight. And when you flex the knees, you put your weight on your muscles in your legs, which strengthens your muscles. And strengthening the muscles creates bone density. We all know how important that is to prevent breaks if you fall. And we talked about why we do Tai Chi slowly. And through all of these slow movements and this pattern of movements, there are a variety of benefits that come to you. And Tai Chi is mostly associated with older folks and the idea of balance, staying upright, but it brings benefits across the age range. We have a woman in her late 20s, early 30s in one of our groups who just moved up from out of state, and she and her husband are renovating a commercial building here to house the businesses that they operate, so she has a lot of stress in her life. And she comes to our class on Wednesday mornings as a sort of a refuge. And she says that when she's there, she can let go of all that stress and let it drain away. And she can draw energy in and reinvigorate herself so she can go back out and manage those stresses in her life. Now, for older folks, again, the key benefit and the key goal for many of them is balance and not falling. And we achieve that in Tai Chi, again, through the shifting of weight. You'll see in the video that the feet move forward, the feet move back. There's a kick sequence, and all of this strengthens the legs and hones that sense of balance that keeps you upright and rooted. We have a saying in Tai Chi, stand like a mountain and flow like a river. And the idea is you stand so solidly on the earth that nothing short of an earthquake can shift you. But at the same time, your movements flow like water. And we all know how much power there is in a flowing river.
No kidding. I see that you're moving. Another benefit that I would see is that you're moving in a lot of different planes.
Oh, yes.
You're moving front, back, side to side, and we get so rooted, for lack of a better word, in one plane, moving forward, or you're sitting. So I see that there's some good joint mobility.
Well, that's a key benefit as well. There's joint mobility and range of motion. Excuse me. And also coordination, because you're moving different parts of your body and managing different parts of your body at the same time, which goes back to that idea, again, of integrating the mind and the body as one entire structural moving unit. And, pardon me, in addition to building the bone density and muscle strength in the lower body, there's also the idea of using Tai Chi as a way to manage the symptoms of chronic conditions such as arthritis. We have a wonderful guy in one of our groups who's been with us for years who is living with Parkinson's disease. And he has said that 1 hour with our group can give him enough energy to last 2 or 3 days.
Wow. So when you're doing this sequence, I'm assuming this sequence takes a while to learn. Do you, when in your classes, do you jump right into the whole sequence? Do you break the sequence down? How does, because that, I'm just thinking that might be like an intimidating.
Yeah, this is week 1. No.
And you have to know it by the end of the
Yes,
class.
and it has to be perfect. No, it's a very good question. We try to take one movement per week, but then periodically we'll stop, readdress the fine points, go back to the beginning, and refine. Because even though it looks like there's not a lot going on, there are a lot of subtleties in the movements, of how you place your energy, of how you shift your weight, of the distance between your feet, of how you're holding the arms and hands in relation to each other. And again, that draws the energy out of the mind into the body, integrates the body, but it does take time because so many of us have been living in our head for so long that it takes a while to reconnect and to realize.
And we're back.
To realize that when you are moving your body, you might not be doing what the instructor is telling you to do. Mm-hmm. It takes time to make those connections back between here and here.
Yeah, I think of it as a long, slow, mindful dance, sort of.
That's a very good analogy. Yeah.
So, the sequence, is the sequence the same always?
Our sequence is the same always.
Yes.
But there are hundreds of different sequences you
Oh,
can
okay.
do. They're all based on those same principles of slow movements, of relaxation, of rooting. But there are 4 different schools, and each school has uncounted variations within it, based on the sequence of movements that the master who creates the particular form chooses.
Mm-hmm. So, just for I don't know if illustration is the right word, but what are some of the names of the movements? Like if you were to tell me, if you were to say we're going to do this, 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 and this,
Sure.
how would you, what is, as far as your sequence goes, the sequence you're teaching, what are the movements?
Well, we could put the video back up if we could, and
I think we can.
I could talk about some of those movements while we're watching.
Putting Colin through his paces today.
We are putting Colin through his
He's
paces.
like,
It's like, damn it.
First we're talking over videos and then we're replaying videos.
Sure.
So here we are.
Yeah, this is called opening the form and raising the energy, and settling the energy, expanding your energy field. And then we move into 3 movements called flying diagonals, which gathers the energy into the torso, into the heart center, and then expresses it outward.
I think that's a good point, because there's the teeny weeny thimble amount that I know of Tai Chi. I know it's not only is it about shifting your body, but shifting energy.
Yeah.
And that somebody described, I think it was you described it to me as holding a sphere of energy.
That's right.
And this is,
Yeah, that movement we just saw is called Touch Heaven and Earth, which separates the energy. This is brush, knee, twist, push, which extends your energy field outward, and it's based on the martial movement of defending your knee from a kick while you push your opponent away from yourself. So all of these movements are based on martial movements, and Tai Chi originated as a self-defense form.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah. And then we, pardon me, from here we go into something called Play the Lute, which can draw energy to the heart center.
I like the names. The names are like the best.
Yeah. And this is Repulse the Monkey, which you can tell works because there are no monkeys in sight. But the idea is here that to calm the monkey mind. Pushing. And again, a martial movement where you seize your opponent's wrist and draw it down and away while you push the person away from you. And again, we're shifting the weight back and forth, picking up the foot and setting it down, requiring you to balance on one foot for a moment. And this is grasp sparrow's tail. Grasping the sparrow, deciding you don't really want it after all, so you let it go.
Would you say there's like a lot of letting go
There's
in Tai Chi?
a lot of letting go, a lot of reaching out, a lot of letting go, and a lot of gathering chi in to build the chi in your body, and a lot of
And chi is
releasing.
life force? Life
Chi-
energy?
Chi is defined it's translated often as energy, but the connotation in Chinese is more of your life force,
Life force.
your vital essence.
Now, there's another Qigong. What is the difference between?
This is a nice movement here. It's called Cloud Hands. And it's a nice meditative spot in the form where you can just relax, make sure you're shedding your tension, your hands and shoulders are soft. And then you can come back into another movement called Beginning the Kicks. And this is obviously a martial movement, pushing the opponent, gathering the energy, drawing it up, and delivering a kick, followed by a ram's head punch, where you sock your opponent in his ears. And coming back for the other kick. And then this steps into a movement called Snake Creeps Down, which is what you usually see when you see Tai Chi illustrated. It's a very dramatic movement if you get real low and long. But to answer your question about Qigong, Tai Chi supposedly originated around in the 1200s somewhere as a defensive martial art. And Qigong is documented to date back more than 3,000 years as a healing practice in China. You know, back then, they only had herbs, acupuncture, and movement as medicine. And so a healer would diagnose your illness and look in his catalog of 3,000 or 4,000 Qigong movements and tell you, well, do 36 of these at night and 36 of these in the morning,
Oh, wow.
and your condition will improve. And again, because Tai Chi and Qigong share the idea of Qi, the defensive movements of Qigong were adapted into a health practice because it raises your Qi level, it clears blockages, it gets your energy moving. And in Tai Chi and in Chinese traditional medicine, when your yin energy and yang energy are balanced, you have perfect health. And Tai Chi is a means to balance those energies. And then we're closing up now with a punch. Gathering the energy, sending it forward, bringing it down into the body's power center just below the navel, guiding energy to the heart center and the third eye, and reaching out to gather energy again and bring it into the lower dantian, the body's power center, the battery, where all of your physical power and energy is stored.
And that's perfect timing because we are, believe it or not, we are down to 3 minutes.
All right.
So I don't understand why everyone's not like rushing out the door to come to your course, but they need to know.
Move slowly.
They need to move slow. Okay, right. Okay, so no more,
That's
no
right.
rushing. They need to shift their energy and move,
Flow to the
and
door.
move towards Greater Rock Fitness.
Good. Yeah, our classes are, well, first of all, our program isn't just like a 8-week or 10-week or 12-week Tai Chi course. It's ongoing. We start with the what we call a level 1 course, which is what you saw standing more or less in one place. There's a level 2 that does the same movements, only walking forward and backward. And then the level 3 course is introducing turns while you're moving.
Ooh.
And each level sharpens that sense of balance and your understanding of where your body is in space, giving you that mental map of your body so you're in touch and in control while you're moving. And then that can take however long it takes. Students can stay with us for the duration. They can come, maybe they get to the end of level 1 and they think, well, that's enough for me, and they can stop, or they can continue on. And beyond level 3, the turning form, we can go to the classic short form, the classic long form, the 108 movements. So, you know, you can stay with us for life.
There you go.
Most people do.
Yeah, now, our classes are an hour long. The Thursday morning class at Greater Rock is going to be from 9:30 to 10:30, starting September 7th. And the evening class, Mondays, from 6:30 to 7:30, beginning September 11th. The classes are $10 each, but we have a sliding scale. If money's tight, pay what you can afford, and even if you can't pay anything, come anyway.
Nice.
Okay.
It'll be in the what they call the spin room.
The spin room, the aerobics room.
Aerobics room. I know. I will never not say
The room
group
that we
X room.
saw in our-
I just have too much ingrained in my mind. So if people want to contact you, if they have a question, like
Sure.
maybe they have some pre-existing thing they're concerned about, what's the best way to reach you?
By phone or by email. I'll speak them, and maybe we can put them
Yep,
up on the
they're up.
screen. Oh, there they are. Yeah, so I don't need to say them, so people don't have to listen to that. But yeah, email, call.
And, so September 7th and September 11th, Greater Rock Fitness, Tai Chi classes. Seems
Yep.
like everybody should be rushing to them. I think it's one of those things that people think it doesn't do much, but
It
it
does.
does.
So, you know, first class is always free. Come and take a taste and see if we're for you.
Okay, well, thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you,
very much.
Bells Falls and Keene. We'll see you next week. That was the feed.
Thank you.
Bye.